All right, yogis. So, if you came to Vinyasa earlier this week and you're feeling sore in your hip flexors and upper body and core, we're going to work on all that stuff today. So as usual, have your pillows and blankies close by where you can grab them. I'm going to actually start off with a pillow on either side of my mat. And I'm realizing my blanket's really far away, so I'm going to go grab that. I guess it's not that far away. So blanket underneath the back of the head, so nice, especially if you're on a hardwood floor like I am. And we're going to come onto our backs and just stretch the legs out. If it's not comfortable for you to stretch your legs out while you're on your back, no big deal. Just go ahead, bend your knees. Let's take some deep belly breaths here. Just start to feel your body settle. Feel your shoulders relax down your back. Feel your neck and your throat soften. Feel any tension in the jaw, just release. Or just even imagine what that would be like. Can you release tension in the jaw? Let's take 2 more breaths here. Just allowing yourself to be in stillness. All right, so we're going to start to set up our first shape. And that's going to be a tree pose on our back. And so you're going to start to see a theme here in a little bit, but we're going to start off with one leg. I'm going to bend my left knee. I'm getting my left knee kind of bent up so that it's somewhere around the right knee joint or the inner upper thigh. And then I'm going to take that left knee out to the side. Now I have my cushions here, so my outer knee can rest on it. Couple of different options for you, depending on what kind of sensation you're looking for. Okay, so typically, if you want more sensation, you'd get rid of that cushion on the outer leg, and then you're probably going to feel some intensity along the inner groin. Okay, option number 1, or option number 2, that ankle can rest on the top of the right thigh. So you might play with those variations. I'm going to stick with that pillow underneath my outer thigh and just kind of like a relaxed, more restorative tree pose. So just playing with the degree of sensation and the degree of intensity, because these are longer holds. So we're going to be in this shape for another about 3.5 minutes. And so are you holding a lot of tension in the body to get where you're going? Or can you relax in the sensation as it is? If you're holding a lot of tension, body probably wants you to give some more support by way of backing out or adding props. Here's what I recommend with the breath as you're finding that stillness. Count the breath as a way to anchor the mind. And here's what I suggest. Count your inhale breath. See how long it takes you to inhale. So that might be like 4 counts or so. And then see if you can take that out a little bit longer on your exhale. So if you were to inhale for 4 counts, can you exhale for 6? So you're just trying to add a little bit more length to your exhale. Just about a minute left on this side. So continuing to anchor into your breath. Can you make that exhale just a little bit longer than the inhale? Take one more breath here. Now let's use that left hand, kind of like scoop underneath the outer left thigh and then help that knee back through your center. Take it super slow. Oh, I feel that. And if you want, you could hug the left knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze, and then stretch that leg out. And just take a moment here in between sides. We're going to just pause. You know, the second side's coming, but we don't need to be in a rush. Just let everything kind of neutralize. There's probably some residual sensation kind of coursing through that left hip flexor, left thigh, maybe even the knee. So just notice that sensation on that left side. What do you notice? Two more breaths here, just in this neutral position. All right, then we'll start to bend the right knee. And again, you're looking for like the right foot to be either in alignment with the knee joint of the left leg, or maybe it goes to the upper inner thigh. It doesn't really get that far from me, so it's okay. Wherever it kind of is. And the right knee is going to fall off to the right. Maybe there's a pillow there to catch it. This left leg, it can just relax. My toes start to flop open. That's just the natural rotation of my hip in its socket. So just let that left leg flop open or flop wherever it will. And then again, you know your variations, but just as a reminder, you don't have to use a prop underneath the outer left thigh, although it can be really nice. And then the second option would be that right ankle rests on top of that left thigh. So just it kind of depends on what are you looking for in terms of sensation? And can you hold that, whatever you're choosing, for the next 5 minutes without causing extra tension and sticking with the sensation as it is in the body? So that's where we play with that percentage of intensity. Typically, when we have these long holds, that intensity will increase over time. So I always recommend starting in a position that you probably think is more shallow, or I'm going to use quotes, easier than you want it to be at first. Will intensify as we hold. Five minutes is a long time, but that deep connective tissue around the hips, it's pretty dense. So it takes a while to release. For most people, it's around the 2 to 3 minute mark. Start to anchor into the breath. If you haven't done so already, you can use that counting inhale. See how long that inhale takes you, and then can you make the exhale just a few extra counts longer? just about a minute left on this side. I'm just doing your best, doing your best to anchor into your breath. That's a tongue twister. Take one more breath here. And then really slow, take your right hand to your outer right thigh and just help that knee come back through center. And then if you want to, if you did this on the last side, you can hug that knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze. And then you can let it stretch out. Just take a few moments here. No need to move on, no need to be in a rush. We just let ourselves feel that echo. There's this residue after a deep hip opener or any kind of deeper, longer hold that rushes through the body. So notice where you feel sensation right now. Now, what does that sensation feel like? Could you describe it? Let's take one more breath here. And then we're just going to come off to a fetal position for a moment. We're going to come onto our bellies, and that's where we're going to spend the remainder of our practice. All right. So you might want to grab an extra blanket or towel. So we're going to kind of do the same thing, but now we're going to do it on our bellies with an option to add on a little bit of a back bend. And so, depending on how externally rotated your hips are, this could feel like a lot. And so that's why we use props. And so one prop I'll offer is if there's not a lot of external rotation, like if it's really hard, if that was really intense for you to lie on your back and turn the knee out to the side, then maybe place a pillow underneath the pelvis. All right, so I'm just kind of like straddling this pillow, it's underneath my pelvis, and then I can take my knee out to the side a little bit more easily because I don't have to fully open my hip. And so the added layer of back bend here is kind of like being in Sphinx right now. And so we did all of that core work on the belly, on the front of that deep hip flexion. Also, we're recruiting a lot of transverse abdomen. That's your deepest abdomen, obliques, rectus abdominis, all those really good core stabilizers. And so Sphinx pose is nice for stretching that. Okay, so you might notice now I have a blanket underneath my outer right knee, or whatever knee you're taking out to the side. So if you're on the surface of a hardwood floor, that can be kind of nice because that knee joint is bony, right? And then I'm starting to slide a little block underneath my forehead. I can just rest my forehead there, and you can pile some blankets underneath your forehead. You could also, you don't have to be in a back bend. You could take your hands, stack them underneath your forehead, and just rest on your belly. So many benefits to resting on your belly. Of course, you do not have to use the pillow underneath the belly. You can sweep that off to the side and just come all the way down to the mat. So basically we're just turning our tree pose upside down, belly down. Sometimes it's called half frog. And that's more like if this ankle, if you can see my right ankle, it's stacked right underneath the knee. So I have these 90-degree angles instead of tree pose where my foot's in towards the inner thigh. So that's just the difference there. You could try both and see which one you like best. If you want to employ that inhale, that exhale, that anchoring into the breath where your exhale gets a little bit longer, we're going to start to come into stillness, and I'm just going to be quiet for these next about 2.5 minutes. We'll take about 2 more breaths here. Then we're gonna just take a neutral position on the belly so you can extend your leg back behind you. Both legs are straight, you're on your belly. Now, option if you want a passive stretch for the side of the neck, you could take your arms down alongside the body so that palms are facing up, and then rest one cheek on the mat and notice which cheek's on the mat. I'm starting off with my left because after the second side, we'll do the other side of the neck. We'll just take a few breaths here. All right, let's turn the gaze back to the mat. So neck is neutral, hands underneath the shoulders. You can press up for a minute. If you want, cat-cow. And then we'll transition. If we were using props like a blanket for the knee, we'll just transition that to the other side. And then of course, you're more than welcome to be belly down on a cushion of some sort or pillow or another folded blanket if you have it. So opposite knee is going to go out to the side. If you want it to be more of that frog-like shape, the knee joints in alignment with the ankle joint. So pretend like this is my leg. And if you want it to be more of the tree pose, then the foot comes into the inner thigh. So it's less of a 90-degree angle. It's like a 45-degree angle. Okay, and so we'll come down to the belly. And we'll start to settle in. Maybe you're taking that Sphinx pose variation where you stand up on the forearms and the elbows, and you're letting this also be kind of a back bend. And of course, there's no need to stay in a position if you get into it and you're realizing it's not working for you. Please don't stay in that position. Just get rid of that position and then do something different. So you can always ditch the props. You can always come down to the belly. Just kind of let this be your own. We'll spend a few minutes in silence. And so we're going to start to extend the opposite leg back behind us so that both legs are straight. And if you want to take that little mini belly down Shavasana, you can certainly stay here for Shavasana, but we're going to take the opposite cheek if you did that with me before. So arms alongside the body, palms face up, and then opposite cheek rest for a few breaths. And if you're comfortable as you are on your belly, feel free to stay. If you'd like to come onto your back for Shavasana or take your legs up the wall or add any layers, make yourself comfortable. We'll take about a 1-minute Shavasana. You're always more than welcome to stay longer. I highly encourage staying longer in Shavasana if you can. Let's take some time to settle in. Shoulders relax down the back. Check out the neck. Can you relax and soften the neck and the throat? Taking a deep breath in together. And let it go. Settling into Shavasana. Just start to deepen the breath. Move the head right and left. Slowly start to awaken the fingers and the toes. When you're ready, arms overhead, breathe into the length of the body. And then take your time, fetal position. We'll take a full breath in fetal position. We'll press our way up. We'll do a few breath cycles of our cyclical breathing. Inhaling fully, pausing at the top, one more sip of air in, and then a complete exhale from there. Sit up nice and tall, feel supported. You can sit however you want. And we'll start by breathing in together. Pause, sip more air in. Exhale, let it all go. Twice more, inhale. Pause when you're full of air, sipping more in. Long, complete exhale. Last round of breath on your own. All right. Let's join the hands together at the heart, bow the chin to the chest. Take a moment here to honor your effort and your practice with reverence and gratitude. May you use the fruits of this practice to serve your highest good, to reach your highest potential. Share it with those around you that you love and who could use healing. Together we send love and healing to all sentient beings around the world. May they be happy. May they be free. Namaste, yogis. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your practice. I hope you come back again soon. And in the meantime, please take care of yourselves.